see me? Can you hear me? Everything
Yes,
is
yes,
okay?
everything is very fine
I
and it is clear also, and it is
and
not.
I am audible. I am audible to the students, I hope.
Yes, pretty clear. Anirudh and Sarthak, you can respond to.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'm
I
also
would
audible.
want someone who is there to let me know that you are there along with me. In case if one of you is also there, that would be nice for me to just
Okay,
know
ma'am.
that you guys are
Yes.
there along with me. So who is there? Sarthak is there, and who else is there?
Anirudh and Sarthak both are the presidents of the council, the students' council for the placement,
Okay,
and I am also there. So we
okay,
will,
okay.
because it will be a big havoc if everyone started responding. So
No, no, that is
on
perfectly fine.
behalf of everyone,
No, no. I just want one of you to just Anirudh, Sarthak, or Nachiket, any one of you, because in case if I'm not audible, it should not happen that I continue talking from my end and I'm not audible.
correct.
And I want the students to be there with me. So at any point of time, if there is anything, please let me know in between. Okay.
Sure.
So let me
Okay, ma'am.
start with the presentation. The way I'm saying, let us move to the big reset. Big reset, COVID 19, a health crisis impacting the world economy. We all know that it started as a health crisis, but it spread like a wildfire and it created a havoc across the globe. In case if we understand the reports that come from IMF, it says that because of this crisis, the world economy is going to shrink by 3%. And if we talk about Indian economy, it is growing at a meager rate of 1.9%. Few financial experts are also indicating that we are inching towards the worst crisis the world has ever seen. So because of this, there is an impact on business depending upon the sector. For example, industries like healthcare, pharma and medical equipment, online media and entertainment, e-learning and edutech, digital payment, video and teleconferencing, they are hugely benefited because of this crisis. But there are some like food, hotels, travel and tourism, they are badly impacted. So in short, there are few businesses which are going to shut down forever, the rest will struggle, and only those who are able to manage this downswing well will only come out as a winner. Now, the third biggest point of this crisis is, or the biggest hit of this crisis is you and me. What do I mean by that? I'm saying the economic downturn resulted into both permanent and temporary layoffs, leaving millions jobless. People are reeling under tremendous stress because of social isolation caused by lockdown or working from home, the loss of near and dear ones, and in worst cases, fighting the crisis all by themselves, fighting the infection all by themselves. And then they're overburdened with the stress of losing a job and to find something new in this dwindling economy. So this is a big reset that has happened in last few months for all of us. How it is how it is impacting the workplace transformation. If you understand, it is said that the year 2020 will go down in the history as the most feared and the awaited one. People are saying that they are calling it already as the new AC, that is after COVID. And the pace of change is so incredible that it has accelerated the transformation journey. Everything at the workplace is, believe me, undergoing dramatic transformation. And interestingly, something that was supposed to be a reality of the future has become the present now. So nobody is talking about work from home because that is there, that is going to stay. The kind of questions people are asking is, do you have the infrastructure? Do you have the ecosystem to drive work from home? Another biggest change is boundaries of work from home. People are working from home, but is leaving people with a feeling of isolation. And people need to get adapted to this new kind of working wherein they cannot have any social interactions with their colleagues. And believe me, it is impacting the well being of employees. Second is, there are reports and people say that they end up working long hours when they are working from home rather than being physically present into the office. And the third biggest downside of working from home is we expect the employees to be there at all point of time. So there's no excuse because you're working from home. You have to be available whenever there is an organization need. This, I believe, is the biggest downside of working from home. And lastly, one of the big resets that the organization is going through is to understand the new realities of work and change the complete policies, processes, give a complete rehaul to the policies and the processes. Keeping in mind the virtual reality, keeping in mind personal health, keeping in mind the job security, keeping in mind the challenges of working from home along with the kids. So the complete policies, processes needs a complete rehaul. I would want to show you a small video that will set up the complete context and it will give you an insight of how the future of work can look like when you be a part of it. Nachiket, Anirudh,
Yes,
Sarthak,
yes,
is it
yes.
visible?
Yes,
Okay.
it is visible.
Yeah, yeah.
The next time you walk into your office, brace yourself for the all new 6 feet office. Modern open plan offices and desks shared by multiple employees could soon be a thing of the past. As offices get set for the post COVID makeover, one way corridors, buffer zones around desks, and even sneeze guards could make their way and become a permanent feature of your spaces. Say, read through signages. That means visual cues that tell you where to stand or walk for you to maintain the 6 feet apart rule. Moreover, as contactless technologies gain momentum, don't be surprised if you
Fine. So the video, I hope, gave you a good insight into how the corporate world will look like when the students will walk into the corporate world soon. So that is about the future of work. Now I will talk to you about what are the workplace challenges that we are facing when we are working in the new corporate world. To start with major challenges, first one is business. In primarily hiring is on Uber or Zomato or Swiggy or even IBM. Lots of employees have been asked to leave, and people who are there, basically they are taking salary cuts. Dispersed workplace, as I said, remote working, working from home, distributed teams. Very important for us is to understand that do we have the required infrastructure? Are we giving them the resources? Do they have internet connection? And on top of it, monitor their work, monitor their productivity so that they remain productive. A very important change which is happening at this point of time is to focus on the well-being, physical and mental health of employees. Mental health of employees is typically going or it is suffering because of the extra workload which people have to go through, or the challenges of working at home along with kids, or because of job security. Another thing is loss of purpose. So there's a report which says that 64% of employees says that they are not able to sleep because of anxiety. And that's the reason the organizations at this point of time require a very strong medical support system. They need to in fact hire psychiatrists in order to take care of the mental well-being of their employees. The next is virtual employee engagement. The way you and me are talking today, everything is happening virtually. Be it Connect, be it meeting, be it conferences, and it is new. It is new for the employer, it is new for the employee. And the last one that I'm talking about is communication conundrum. What do I mean by communication conundrum? All communication is happening with the help of technology. So be it video call, be it Skype, be it Google Teams, and then it is bound to make errors, and then it is bound to make communication gap, because it is always easier to connect and talk when you are in present, when you are in person. And because of internet, because of connectivity issue, there is a possibility that there can be a delay in communication. So these are the kind of challenges which the workplace after COVID in last few months are going through, which I have covered as the big reset. Now, this is very important for all of us to understand, which is the evolution of work. What do you mean by evolution of work? For the first time in history, the business problem of all the organization in the world is the same. The basic need is to come up with a device, a policy or a process or system that helps us to survive during the times of COVID and beyond. And organizations are trying all innovative and disruptive ways to ensure that the business operation is flexible and sustainable, not only today, but tomorrow. So there is one thing that kept all of us going when the entire world was under lockdown, and that was people plus technology. This was the biggest game changer that helped us navigate into the next phase. And drawing the lessons from the experiences and having a realistic view of the future, when talking about evolution of work, all the organizations are basically going through three phases, which is called as rewind, second one is called as reset, and the third one is called as reimagine. What is rewind? Rewind is basically going back where it all started and looking at how the challenges were tackled. So it was predicted that by the end of the decade, few percentages of employees would be working from home. But nobody had envisioned that the entire workforce would be working from home. And this called for shifting of hardware, procuring software licenses. And there is no lead time to hit the ground running, because you need to take care of your customer requirements also. The new normal calls for everything which is happening in the physical world get transition into virtual or the virtual world in a just as jiffy. And the problem that all the
Hello. Swati ma'am. I think just a minute, students don't create a work. Okay, students, don't be confused. I think there's a rejoining of the session by the speaker. So within next 1 minute, yeah, we have.
I am back.
Yes,
Nachiket.
yes. I was just announcing to the students.
Yeah.
Yes, you can start with this.
Just give me a minute. I'm connecting my. If you can just see the screen. Wait.
Maximize your screen. Maximize your screen. Put करो पहले. It's visible.
Are you all there with me?
Yes.
Can you hear?
Yes.
All okay. All well. Okay. So I was talking about these three phases. The first one was the rewind phase. And I was talking about how things happen in the rewind phase, how we have to go back where the things started, what are the kind of challenges that the organizations have to go through, basically shifting of hardware, procuring software licenses, and then no lead time for the organization. And the new normal, what is happening in new normal is everything which is happening into the physical world, they have to transition into virtual. And that also needs to happen in a Ziffy. There is no lead time. And there are no guidelines. There are no templates to refer to. And everything that is happening in the organization at this point of time is either new or sudden, or it is evolving on a continuous basis. Nachiket, all clear now? You guys are there with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything is
the next phase, the next phase is the reset phase. And the reset phase is the most critical phase in getting adapted to the new normal. And why I'm saying this is because the crisis is a challenge and it is an exciting opportunity also for all of us. So, humanware, the terminology is humanware, the best of human inventiveness and the best of technology is basically the game changer. Today, virtual is normal. It is a norm. Nothing new. The way you and me are interacting on a virtual platform. Organizations are doing everything in a virtual world. Be it events, be it exhibitions, be it interviews, hiring, onboarding, training, town halls. If I have to name few, annual meetings, DJ nights, conferences, summits, everything that was happening in the mainstream back into virtual. So if you ask me, there is no show stopping. There is no wait to go back to the normal. And the silver lining is there's 100% participation in the virtual world. All organizations across the world are investing heavily in technology, though they are doing it wisely, just to ensure that everything moves into virtual world. And the third is reimagine. What do I mean by reimagine? The world is reopening. It has to reopen. It is reopening, though in a phased manner, with little fear, with little trepidation. But the future of work calls for a hybrid model where the customer requirements are taken care of, organization needs are met, there is safety and security for employees in the organization. So digital technology is the need of the hour. The workforces like you and me, we have to upskill and reskill ourselves into the latest trends of e-commerce, AI, robotics, virtual communication, social media. Basically, in short, technology is the X factor in employee experience. I will not say that technology is a game changer. Technology is the only secret ingredient for us at this time, not only to survive, but also to thrive into the new normal. Okay, so the evolution of work, the different organizations across the globe are into one of these three phases: rewind, reset, and reimagine. The next, which is happening in most of the organizations. It is happening in Cybage also. How does the new corporate world looks like? As I mentioned, the background that I have given it to all of you, all the organizations are going a lot of disruption in last few days. We are living in an extraordinary times. The way we function, the way we interact, nothing is like it has to happen before. But something is inevitable, and that is the workplaces are going to open. The question here to ask is, are the organizations ready to welcome their employees and give them a safe workplaces? And technology can play a very important role, give an aid to HR in making workplaces a safer one. So I'll start with building confidence among returning employees. This is happening in almost all the organizations, especially in IT industries. So the HR is in constant touch with the employees to understand their health, to understand their preparedness of coming back to work. There are organizations which are using AI to design surveys so that they can reach out to almost all the employees, understand about their health status, understand about their preparedness of coming back to work. And then the data is collated and the information is shared with the leaders in the organizations to make appropriate decisions. Facilitating health screening at work. So when you reach workplaces, it is very important that the screening happens at regular time in order to understand in case if they have symptoms, in order to take care of your safety, your health, and safety of people who are working around you. So again, technology, some organizations are coming up with tracking system, which will give you insights into risk mitigation that can help the organization or the business to have business continuity. Continuous sanitization and working. Your work floor, your desks, the entire office needs to be sanitized on a regular basis. This is before the shift, during the shift, post the shift. And most of the organizations are using automated tools in order to assign the shifting so that it is very efficient. And the reports are then shared with the managers so that the managers can optimize the space utility and they can also keep the cost under control. So in those organizations that can have people coming in shifts, they are going ahead with it. It is not like one time everybody into the organization coming and then they are leaving the workplaces at the same time, the big bus is going out of office. That is not going to happen. That is something that was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, you really have to understand that people come in phases, people come in shifts so that there is enough of space for people to settle, sit, work, and then continuous sanitization and tracking happens into the organization. So that is how I said that automated systems are being used so that it gives a visibility to the manager so that they can optimally utilize the space and keep the costs under control. Last one is the crisis management. What do I mean by crisis management? In case when you come across someone who is infected or has got an infection, then certain actions need to be taken. Contact tracing needs to happen so that you ensure that it doesn't spread. And more important, there is no panic. In short, of primary importance, the role of HR is completely changed, completely transformed, and technology is at the forefront of this complete transformation. Chiket, Anirudh, all of you are there with me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, now I'm coming to the next part of the new normal. And when I'm talking about redesigning the corporate world, what is basically happening into the corporate world at this point of time? So, with all the disruptions that have happened with COVID-19, one thing is very clear to the organization, and that is COVID-19 is going to be there for some more time. We have to function with the restrictions on mobility. Work from home is going to be there for a longer time. And this is the moment, this is the time that the digital technology industry is waiting for. Because if you look into it, work from home remote working is the primary driver of technology adoption in the organization. And believe me on this, it is not something easy, it is not something simple. The organization, the employees, the leadership, everyone has to go through a cultural change, through an operational change, through a mindset change. And it is not easy because the digital organizations are more distributed, more flexible, more faster. And it requires a very different kind of a culture and a mindset compared to normal businesses. The report says that the organizations which are digitally prepared, they could cope up with the disruptions caused by COVID-19 more effectively and more efficiently. So that is rapid digitalization of work. The second one is redefining of policies. This is also very interesting because what has happened is the role of HR is completely changed. And the role has become more holistic. With the advancement of technologies, it has made the organizations more human-centric at this point of time. The organization are making a lot of changes in the policies and the processes, and believe me, it is increasing the cost for the organizations. For example, reimbursement of telephone bills, reimbursement of internet bills. There are organizations that are providing free meals to employees. Asian Paints is giving 6 months advance to employees. Fidelity is giving 15,000 to employees so that they can buy a set. There are recruitment specialists who are providing free services, working on the resume of employees so that they are better prepared during this time of crisis. Government has launched various policies wherein your EPF and the employer contribution can be withdrawn. So redefining the policies in the new normal. Leadership resilience. This is also very interesting. The crisis has created unprecedented circumstances for the leaders of today. If you ask me, the leaders require to have a paradoxal set of skills. Bold decision, but deliberate calm. Short-term focus, long-term purpose. Empathetic leadership, but you need to have a smartness to outperform in the market. It is very important for the leaders to stay connected and keep the employees motivated and engaged at this point of time more than ever before. This brings me to my next point, which is self-leadership revolution. And this is the silver lining of this crisis. What is happening is, when we are not seeing the employees, I'm talking about my team also, when I really do not see the team members working in front of us, we basically focus on results. We do not focus on activities. In short, we resist the urge to micromanage and embrace self-leadership. So we are setting targets for people and we are making them accountable and responsible to deliver results. Having the trust and faith in them, and we support and give them leadership also whenever it is needed. But embracement of self-leadership is, I believe, one of the most important and the positive things which has happened in new normal. Lastly, importance of reskilling and upskilling. The world is going to open, organizations are opening, and the first and the foremost thing for most of the organization, the employer and the employees alike, is to upskill and reskill themselves so that they are better prepared for future. And basically the next phase of working or the future of work will require employees to be more agile, more collaboration, more innovative. And most of the organization are spending this time training their employees so that they are better prepared and they can lead into the new world more effectively. One pointer because I am heading talent acquisition team at Cybage, so I thought I should also be talking about the kind of changes which is happening in the hiring process, and it would be an insight for all of you because tomorrow, if not Cybage, you would be appearing for interviews in different companies. So we need to reboot as a recruiter. What do I mean by it? We really have to sit back and understand what changes have happened, because it is impacting the way we recruit, kind of people that we recruit, and the mix of people who is there into the organization. There are few changes which have happened and which is going to be there forever. So when I talk about it, first is redesigning the hiring process. There is a possibility that the candidate that we are interviewing or the candidate that we are hiring, he or she may not be visiting your premises at all at the time of interview or post joining also. So we really have to go back and understand that do we need to change the processes when it comes to candidate engagement, the entire interview process, the onboarding process, the job offer process, or even we do background verification. Do we really need to make changes into it? Because as I said, the second point, which is more important, is do we really need to assess people only on technical skill, or it is the time for us to assess people on their virtual team management skills also, communication, remote stakeholder management. When I'm hiring managers and leads, do I need to understand that whether these people are able to connect and manage the team wherever it is sitting across the globe? So that is also an important pointer for the organizations when it comes to hiring process. Is the hiring happening only on technical skills, or at this point of time, virtual employee engagement, virtual team management should also be incorporated into the employee assessment. Second, this is also very important for all of us as a recruiter because candidate experience has become more important than ever before. And why I'm saying it, because of the changes in the market and the number of layoffs which are happening, there is an increase in the number of application in the talent pool. What do I mean by this? Today, if I have to hire someone for Cybage, I really do not have to look for people only in Maharashtra. Today, I can hire people from anywhere, across India, across globe, because of remote working. So it is utmost responsibility of the recruiters to ensure that they give seamless experience to the candidates who are there in the pipeline and who are already existing. So when I talk to my team, I always say that everyone you interact, understand you as an employer and think of you as a company. You are the brand ambassador when you are hiring the candidates for the organization, and we need to ensure that the entire experience is seamless. The last one is candidate communication, which is the most critical and important one. The reason being, entire hiring is happening virtually. So people have a lot of queries pertaining to policies, especially around benefits, health, infrastructure. And it is our responsibility as a recruiter that we pass on the most accurate information to them. We should be reachable to them at all point of time. We need to have communication with them. We need to build a rapport with them. We need to stick to the timeline so that the candidate experience remains smooth. So these are the few things we need to reboot as a recruiter, keeping in mind the new normal. This brings me to the last slide of my presentation, and then quickly we can look into your questions if you have. Success mantras to navigate the new normal. This is one of the beautiful lines that I read, and it is like, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. And there are various organizations that have proved this. I thought of giving few examples to you. First one is Be Agile Google Way. Agility is the ability to adapt and respond to change. So usually people who are individuals who are agile and the organization who are agile, they see it as an opportunity. They really do not see it as a threat. So when COVID was spreading and the employees and the students started working from home, Google did its part of keeping employees connected. What they did it, they made the premium version of Hangouts free, so that the teams that were working remotely, distributed teams, they remained productive and effective. They saw it as an opportunity to extend its reach and strengthen its brand. One of the best examples where an organization being agile and responding to change quickly. Another one, learn consistently and continuously, says Zomato. Pankaj Chadda and Dipinder Goyal, they are the brains behind Zomato, the great food delivery app, you all know. So once they were working in their office and they saw that people were standing in long queues just to get hold of the menu card. And that is where they launched Foodie Bay. And due course of time, they became the biggest aggregator of restaurants. Later, they worked on the feedback, consumer preferences, and continued their journey by relaunching Zomato, learning consistently and continuously. So they were innovative, they kept on reinventing, and that is how Zomato came up. The key is learn consistently and continuously. Leadership is navigating the path. My lab solution. This is really interesting, and I want you to understand this example. So, My Lab solution, founded in 2012, it is based out of Pune. It ensured that there are 10 scientists who are working continuously during lockdown so that they can come up with a test kit for COVID-19. Earlier, the test kits were imported, they were expensive, and they took around 7.5 hours to diagnose a patient. There is a team which was led by Meenal Bhosle, and they submitted the proposal to the Central Drug Standard Control Organization for commercial approval. Just before an hour, Meenal was escorted to the hospital for her delivery. The test kits which are there, they are cost effective, time saving, because now they diagnose the patient just in 2 hours. Meenal, the example of one of the best leaders that we can think of. Innovation is the key. So there is an example which I thought of interesting one to share it with you guys. So there are two guys, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia. They just thought of making a quick by renting air mattresses in their living rooms for passengers who were coming to San Francisco to attend conferences for business purpose. This was just a thought, but then later they worked on that idea. They came up with a website, they worked on offers, features, and they got loyal customers because of their continuous experimentation and work. The key is passion and a zeal to excel in experience. Innovation is the key wherein during the time of crisis, if you're agile, if you want to learn consistently and continuously, you keep leadership in mind and you keep on innovating. These organizations have proved that you can be successful whether there is pandemic or it is not. This is a small video. This video is from World Economic Forum. I would really like to share this video with all of you because this video has got certain do's and don'ts for all of us to stay positive during this crisis. I'll share this video and then maybe I would be done with my presentation, and then in case if you have any questions, we can look into it. Fine, Nachiket?
Yes.
Yeah. Just give me
Yes.
a minute. So
Yeah.
I would want to end the presentation on a real positive note, and there is one uh, quote that I would like to
Good.
share. It is by a military veteran, Surgeon Johnny Joe Jones, who lost his leg in an explosion and get back to living life with all courage and optimism. And people asked him, how I stay so positive after losing my legs. I simply ask how they stay so negative with this. Uh, what I want to put across the message is there is always a silver lining. Be positive, stay focused. It is the time for all of us to reflect, to rethink as an individual, as organization, and as world. This can be one of the best years for us if we have a positive mindset. Organizations across the world are looking into it, they are preparing for it. And the changes, believe me, which are happening into the corporate world are better for all of us. It is better for future. And let us stay positive with everything which is happening around us. That brings me to the end of my presentation, and I would be real. One, I hope that students found this presentation insightful. It will give them some understanding of how the corporate world looks like when they become a part of it very soon. There are a lot of changes which are happening in short, and organizations are putting in efforts. There is a lot of transformation which is happening. There is a lot of evolution which is happening, be it sanitization, be it screening, ensuring that the safety and security of employees in the organization, certain processes when it comes to hiring, onboarding, training, which are undergoing changes, and these processes which are changing is not immediate. It is going to stay for a longer time, and organizations are investing heavily in technology. Technology is, as I said, the secret ingredient. It is the secret ingredient to navigate us into the next world. I'm fine in case if you have any questions. Basically, it was an insight about how the corporate world looks like. But in case of the students have questions, I'm fine to look into it and answer it for you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so like every time, what we will do, we will ask the students to raise the hand, and when I will ask one of the other, they can take up the question by unmuting themselves. Fine, Swati?
Fine, perfectly fine.
Correct. Okay. So anyone from the students, from the attendees would like to share a question or maybe raise a question for us? If you can, it can be put in the chat box also. I will go through the chat box and I'll read out the question for the probable answer.
Everything is new for all
Uh,
of. It is new for us also, as I mentioned
no,
in my
for us, yes.
presentation. Yeah, it is new. It is
Correct.
sudden. It is happening for the first time. People are taking decisions. There are no guidelines, so it is insightful.
We have to be the policymakers for the future.
Organizations are making policies, looking into policies, which is the need of the hour
Correct.
at this time.
Correct. Swati, by the time students get into the question, can we have a small discussion on when we talked about uh, working from home culture or the infrastructure? So, what exactly today practical scenario is there in India in IT industry per se, with in terms of the infrastructure to work from home, right? Whether it is foolproof, it is enough, or we have to go to have some advancement, or is it the connectivity and all those things which is required for working from home with respect to projects, with respect to whatever operations are there into the IT industry. So where we are basically, how can you?
Nachiket, I will put it across in a different way. If we do not have work from home, if we are not working from home, if we are not working remotely, we would not be able to survive. Technology working from home is the need of the hour, and it is going to stay. And the sooner the organizations adapt to this change, it is better. If you do not have technology, you won't be able to survive. And there are different factors. There are different factors around it, because in case if there is a lockdown, if the economic scenario wherein people really can't make it to work, you cannot close down. That is how then the businesses are closing down. It is the only thing that is keeping us going at this point of time is people plus technology. This is the game changer. This has to be in place. And the way I said into my presentation, organizations are investing heavily in technology at this point of time. And every organization, be it your reward and recognition, be it your people connect, be it your town halls, be it your team meeting, and at Cybage we did comedy nights also. There are events which are happening. There is connect of the CEO, and everything is happening online. Everything is happening in the virtual world. So if you ask me, as I said, there is no show stopping. People are not really waiting for go back to normal, because for us this is the norm. And believe me, there is 100% participation. And the way I am connecting to all of you, I'm sure there is a participation from people, because they just have to log on to your system and they can just understand and see what is happening in the world around. And as I said, it is not happening today, tomorrow. It is going to be there. Tomorrow, even if a vaccine comes up, the kind of advancements and the kind of investment that the organizations are making into technology, it is going to be there. And that is the only way for us to survive at this point of time. So that is the need of the hour. That is the way for us to survive.
Great, great. So all is set in terms of like no operation has been stopped in the industry. So everything is going on as it was earlier, but on a virtual.
And if you ask me, IT companies, most of the IT companies, Cybage for sure, I can say it with confidence, but I read about TCS also, and this is specifically into IT sector. We are the way we were. We are getting our variable pay, we are getting our increments, we are having our performance appraisals are happening. There is in Cybage, there is no layoff. We have honored all the offers that we have given. We have onboarded freshers. My first batch of CDAC has joined last month, and my campus joining is happening in the coming month after July. After Diwali, in the basically in the month of November. So for us, everything is as usual. And the way I said, we are even not waiting for to go back to normal. It is the way it is happening, and employees are working from home, and everything is working fine for us. It gave us an insight that yeah, we really can work without physically being present into the premises. So everything is normal for us.
Even our students, be it Cybage or be it any other recruiter, everyone has got the joining. So 100% joining conversion has been done.
That's how organizations are not waiting for anything now specific to happen. It is because, and IT, the advantage with IT is the technology is any which ways in place. Working from home was already there. We were digitally any which ways prepared. So the pandemic has not have a very huge impact on IT. One of the few sectors wherein there was the impact was not that great.
Correct. I think to some extent, manufacturing will have the hurdles in the work from home, because you have to be on the shop floor for doing the production. But yes, IT and that too within the technology arena, everything is good to go in the work from home culture. So, but if students want to have say 3 points or 3 factors which they want to upskill themselves to adjust to this new normal, what would be those 3 points where students should like most of them are in 3rd year or most of them are in final year as of now. So at this stage of time when there's 1 or 2 years still left for passing out or graduating from the BTech program, what 3 points would you suggest that students should embed in themselves for preparing them to face the corporate world?
If you ask me, 3 pointers: virtual communication, social media presence. There are few skills which, for example, as I mentioned, the latest trends in e-commerce, AI, analytics, virtual communication. These are the things which we have never ever paid attention in the past, but now it is of utmost importance. People really have to ensure that they are able to manage teams virtually. People should have the ability to connect with their managers virtually, interact with them, and social media presence is one of the things which is important at this point of time. So please understand these skills: collaboration, team management, innovativeness, staying positive, having patience. All these skills were never important in the past, but now they have become very important. They are the bread and butter for all of us to stay positive in the crisis or everything which is around us. As I said, technology is the X factor of experience. Technology is the only ingredient which will help us to thrive into the world at this point of time. So be savvy with technology. You need to show your social media presence, start communicating, start coordinating, make your presence felt. At the same time, patience, persistence, because when in case if you're putting into your efforts and if it is not giving results, you really need to have a lot of patience. You need to be good to yourself, kind to yourself. The presentation that I showed to you, there is stress everywhere around, but it is okay. You have to calm down and you have to understand that in case if there is a positive outlook and a mindset, you are able to survive. So all these skills were not there in the past, but it has become utmost important in this scenario.
Correct. So Swati, what I will do, I'll take up the questions on a mail because I think
please
students
share
have noted, but so they'll take a time to digest also because this topic is altogether new for the students also. So let them note.
Feel free to write it to me, Nachiket. I will be more than happy to address the students and I can pass on my views in case on whatever kind of questions that they have.
Correct. So let me thank to you with a deepest sense of gratitude because I know working from home is like your occupancy is more in working from home because the boss or what we can say the industry, the company will be expecting many things, multiple things at a time, and there's no time limit altogether. So you should be available 24/7 in a true sense. So in that busy schedule, you have made yourself available for the students to guide them, to mentor them in a per se of how they should prepare themselves for the post-COVID era. And I am very confident students have noted down. There were around 121 participants for today's session. So all of them will connect with me in a later part for the queries and questions, and then I will compile it and I'll reach out to you for the probable answers. So I thank to you, I thank to students, I thank to our faculty members for joining this session. And this initiative is from our principal, sir, Dr. Anand Madero, sir. It is the initiative where we want the students to connect to the industry person directly, maybe virtual, maybe physical, but they should know what exactly the corporate is looking into. We are here, professor are here to tell them, but there should the perspective and the view from the company or the industry is also making the difference. So thanks to principal sir, thanks to the overall management, every element of Bharati Vidyapit, and I would like to have a few more sessions with you on other terms also. And if at all we will be having any physical classrooms and all those things back again, then we will have one day you may visit to college and we'll have a session in the seminar hall as well. So with this note, I will like to conclude the session. Swati, you want to add anything at the last part?
I just want to add, Nachiket, it was a pleasure talking to all of you, talking to the students today, and I'm just hoping that this session was insightful. I will be really happy in case if you can share few feedback from the students. In case if there is anything that they would want to know from me, you can share my email ID with them and I would be really glad to answer in case if they have any questions or queries with them. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed being connected with all of you. Thank you so much.
Just pass my thanks to Monali also.
I'll do that.
Right,
Perfect.
because she also
Yes.
there for these things.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Sure. Yeah.